This folder contains 19 weather reports, 19 impossible measurements, 19 days in August 1984, when summer died in one specific place and refused to come back. The location is marked on Soviet military maps as Zone 8 Nord, a weather monitoring station in the Khibiny Mountains, Murmansk Oblast, 200 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, remote, isolated, staffed by a rotating crew of 6 meteorologists and 2 technicians. The station was established in 1971. Standard installation, Soviet Hydrometeorological Service. Its purpose was simple: monitor atmospheric conditions, record temperature, precipitation, wind patterns, send daily reports to the regional center in Murmansk. 13 years of routine data, 13 years of predictable Arctic weather, until August 1984. The first anomaly appears in the log dated August 3rd, 1984, filed by senior meteorologist Larisa Demidova. The report is typed on standard forms, professional, precise, but there's a note handwritten in the margin.
Exterior temperature reading inconsistent with season, requesting equipment calibration review.
The reading that day was minus 12 degrees Celsius in August at noon, while the rest of Murmansk Oblast recorded temperatures between 15 and 20 degrees. Normal summer conditions, but at Zone 8 Nord, it was winter. Demidova's supervisor in Murmansk responded the same day. The response is clipped to her report.
Calibration error likely. Check thermometer placement. Verify equipment function. Resubmit corrected data.
August 4th. Demidova's second report. Temperature, minus 15 degrees Celsius. The note in the margin is longer now.
All equipment checked, thermometers verified against backup instruments, readings consistent across all devices. Exterior temperature genuinely below freezing. Request explanation.
No explanation came. Instead, a directive, sent from the regional center, signed by Chief Meteorologist Oleg Khibiny.
Continue standard reporting. Monitor situation. Do not speculate in official logs.
August 5th. Temperature minus 18 degrees. Demidova's report includes a new detail.
Frost observed on equipment housings. Ice forming on weather station exterior. Crew reports sensation of cold wind despite anemometer showing calm conditions. Wind speed 0, yet personnel describe continuous breeze. Cold, cutting, coming from northeast.
August 6th. Temperature minus 22 degrees. The report includes a photograph. Black and white. Grainy. It shows the weather station. A small building, prefabricated concrete. Soviet standard. But the image shows something wrong. The building is covered in frost. Thick, heavy, like midwinter accumulation. But the date stamp on the photograph confirms it. August 6th, 1984. Summer. The photograph also shows something else. The sky. Clear. Cloudless. Bright. Full daylight. The sun visible in the frame. And yet the frost. The ice. The impossible cold. August 7th. Temperature minus 26 degrees. Demidova's report is no longer routine. It's urgent.
Situation deteriorating. Heating system struggling to maintain interior temperature. Fuel consumption triple normal rate. Crew experiencing symptoms consistent with extreme cold exposure. Frostbite on extremities despite wearing full winter gear outdoors. Duration of exterior work reduced to 10-minute intervals. The cold is not normal cold. It penetrates, settles into bones, persists even after returning indoors.
She includes another detail, buried in the meteorological data.
Barometric pressure normal, humidity normal, cloud cover 0, solar radiation measurements normal. All atmospheric indicators suggest warm summer conditions except temperature. Temperature continues to drop.
August 8th, temperature, minus 29 degrees. A new voice appears in the logs. Technical Officer Boris Lebedev. His report is brief, mechanical.
Conducted full diagnostic of temperature measurement systems. All equipment functioning correctly. Cross-referenced with handheld instruments. Results identical. Exterior temperature is genuinely minus 29 Celsius. No equipment malfunction detected. No explanation available.
August 9th, temperature minus 32 degrees. Demedova's report includes a statement from the crew. 7 signatures, all 8 personnel at the station.
We request immediate evacuation. The cold is unbearable. It doesn't behave like normal cold. It moves. We can feel it circling the station. Like something alive. Like breath. When we go outside, it cuts through every layer. Through skin, through muscle, down to bone. We can see our breath indoors now. The heating is running at maximum. It's not enough. Something is wrong here. Something beyond weather.
The request was denied. Response from Murmansk Regional Center. Signed by Khibiny.
Evacuation not authorized. Phenomenon. Likely temporary atmospheric anomaly. Maintain observation. Scientific value significant. Continue reporting.
August 10th. Temperature minus 35 degrees. Demedova's report is 2 pages. The first page is data, standard meteorological measurements. The second page is observation.
The wind has a sound. We can all hear it. Even when anemometers show 0 wind speed. A howling. Constant, low frequency. It resonates in your chest. Makes your teeth ache. We checked for mechanical sources. Checked all equipment. The sound is not coming from the station. It's coming from outside. From the northeast. From the ridge.
The ridge. And that's the first mention of it. Cold Ridge. A geological formation 3 kilometers from the station. A long escarpment of exposed rock, running north to south, rising 200 meters above the surrounding terrain. It had a name on the maps. Kolodny Khrebet. Cold Ridge. Named for the wind patterns. Cold air flowing down from the ridge in winter. Standard geography, standard weather. But this was August, and the wind was coming from the wrong direction, flowing up the ridge, toward the peak, like something was pulling it. August 11th. Temperature, minus 37 degrees. Lebedev's report includes technical analysis.
Conducted atmospheric composition analysis. Air samples normal. Oxygen, nitrogen, trace gases all within expected parameters. No contamination. No unusual chemical presence. The cold has no source. It simply exists. Violates thermodynamic principles. Heat is being removed from this location faster than it can be replaced. But there is no mechanism, no explanation. The energy is just disappearing.
August 12th. Temperature minus 40 degrees. A third voice appears. Junior meteorologist Mikhail Petrov. Young. Recent graduate. First posting. His report is handwritten, shaky.
I went outside this morning. Wanted to see the ridge. Wanted to understand where the wind was coming from. I walked 50 meters from the station. The cold increased. Not gradually. Suddenly. Like stepping through a threshold. Behind me, minus 40. In front of me, colder. Much colder. I could feel my lungs freezing. Ice forming in my airways. I turned back. But I saw something. On the ridge. Movement. Not wind, not snow. Something else. Something dark against the ice.
Demidova added a note to Petrov's report.
Officer Petrov treated for stage 2, frostbite on face and hands. Exposure time, 4 minutes. Recommend prohibition of exterior activity beyond immediate station perimeter.
August 13th. Temperature minus 43 degrees. No report from the station. Instead, there's a radio transcript. Communication between Zone 8 Nord and Murmansk Regional Center. Timestamp 13:47 hours.
Murmansk Center. This is Zone 8 Nord. We have emergency situation. Zone 8. Nord. This is Murmansk Center. State your emergency. The station is freezing. Interior temperature dropping despite heating at maximum. Currently 6 degrees inside. Water pipes frozen. Electrical systems failing. Request immediate evacuation. Zone 8. Nord. Maintain position. Evacuation team requires 72 hours to organize transport. Can you maintain until then? Negative. We cannot survive 72 hours. The cold is inside now. We sealed all doors and windows. It doesn't matter. It comes through the walls, through the floor. We can see frost forming on interior surfaces. Request emergency helicopter extraction. Zone 8 Nord. Weather conditions prohibit helicopter flight. Ground transport only. Maintain position. Survival protocols in effect. You don't understand. This isn't weather. This is something else. The cold is moving. Searching. We can feel it pressing against the walls. Please, send someone. Send anyone.
Transmission ended. August 14th. Temperature minus 46 degrees. No radio contact. Murmansk Center attempted to raise Zone 8 Nord 17 times. No response. Just static. And beneath the static, something else. A sound. Low. Resonant. Like wind through a canyon. But wrong. Rhythmic. Almost like breathing. August 15th. A helicopter was sent. Weather conditions had improved across the region. Clear skies, calm winds. Summer had returned. Except at Zone 8 Nord. The pilot's report is in this folder. Captain Anatoly Suslov, 41 years old, 20 years flight experience. His account is clinical until the final paragraph.
Approached Zone 8 Nord at 0920 hours. Visibility excellent. No adverse weather observed during flight. However, at approximately 5 kilometers from station, exterior temperature began dropping rapidly. Cockpit instruments showed minus 30 degrees, then minus 35, then -40, ice forming on windscreen, engine performance degrading. At 2 kilometers from station, temperature reached -48 degrees. Multiple system warnings, engine struggling. I aborted approach, circled at safe distance, observed station through binoculars.
His description of what he saw is attached on a separate page, handwritten, added after the official report was filed.
The station was intact, no visible damage, but it was encased in ice, thick, meters thick, like it had been frozen for years. The windows were covered, the doors buried, and the ridge behind it. Cold ridge. It was wrong. The rock face was black, not with shadow, with something else. Like the stone had been burned, or frozen so deeply it had changed color. And there was movement. I don't know how to describe it. The air above the ridge. It wasn't still. It was writhing, like heat shimmer, but inverted, like cold made visible. I didn't land. I couldn't. The helicopter couldn't survive that temperature. I returned to base.
August 16th. A ground team was dispatched. Military, not meteorologists. A squad from the Arctic Warfare Brigade. 12 men, equipped for extreme cold, prepared for winter conditions despite the calendar saying summer. The team leader was Captain Grigory Morozov. His report is 4 pages. Detailed, professional, disturbed.
Arrived at Zone 8 Nord perimeter at 14:30 hours. Temperature at base camp, 2 kilometers from station, -20 degrees. Unusual, but manageable. Proceeded towards station on foot. Temperature dropped progressively. -25, -30, -35. At 1 kilometer, we encountered the boundary.
The boundary. He describes it clearly, a line, visible, not marked, just visible, where the frost changed, where summer ended and something else began.
Beyond the boundary, everything was frozen. Trees, ground, air itself. Ice crystals suspended in atmosphere. Fog so cold, it burned exposed skin. Visibility reduced to 10 meters. Temperature, -45 degrees. We continued. Reached station at 1520 hours.
His description of the station matches the pilot's report. Ice, thick accumulation. Doors frozen shut. Windows obscured. But the structure was intact. No damage, no signs of violence or disaster. Just cold.
Attempted entry through main door. Ice too thick. Used axes. Broke through after 40 minutes. Interior temperature estimated -30 degrees. Heating systems offline. Electrical power offline. Emergency lighting functional but dim.
They found the crew in the main operations room. All 8 of them gathered together. Not scattered, not fleeing. Together. Morozov's description is careful, measured, like he's trying to make it sound normal.
All personnel deceased. Cause of death, extreme hypothermia. Bodies frozen. Preserved, positioned in circle. Facing inward. No signs of struggle. No signs of panic. They appear to have sat down deliberately. Waited. As if expecting something.
But there's more. Added in a second report, filed separately, classified higher than the first.
Found evidence suggesting crew remained alive for extended period despite impossible conditions. Food stores depleted. Water frozen, but showing signs of attempted melting. final log entry dated August 14th, 0300 hours. Handwritten by senior meteorologist Demidova. Text as follows.
The log entry is reproduced in full. Demidova's final words.
It's inside now, the cold. It's not just temperature, it's presence. We can feel it moving through the rooms, searching. We've gathered in the operations center, all of us. We're burning everything we can, papers, furniture, anything. The fire won't stay lit. The flames are blue, dying. The cold eats them. We tried the radio again. No response. I think we're alone now, alone with it, with whatever is on the ridge. I can see it through the window, the darkness, moving, descending, coming closer. We're going to die here. We know that, but we need someone to understand. This isn't weather. This isn't natural. Something is here. Something that brings winter with it. Something that's been sleeping on Cold Ridge for a very long time. And we woke it up. I don't know how. I don't know when. But it's awake now. And it's cold. So cold. The kind of cold that existed before heat, before light, before anything warm ever lived. We're sorry, we didn't mean to disturb it. We were just recording weather, just doing our jobs. But it doesn't care. It's going to take us. Take the warmth from us, add us to itself, make us part of the cold. I can feel my fingers going numb, my thoughts slowing. We're all holding hands now, all 8 of us, in a circle, facing each other. So we don't have to face it. So the last thing we see is each other. Not the cold, not the darkness, just each other. I hope someone finds this. I hope someone understands. Don't come here. Don't try to recover us. Seal the station. Abandon the zone. Let the cold have it. Let it keep what it's taken. Because if you come here, if you disturb it again, it will follow you back. It will spread, and summer will end. Everywhere. Forever.
The log ends there, Demidova's handwriting trailing off. The final letters barely formed. Captain Morozov evacuated immediately, took the log, took photographs, left the bodies. The temperature was still dropping, minus 48 degrees. His men were showing signs of hypothermia despite full Arctic gear. They couldn't stay. August 17th. Temperature at Zone 8, Nord, minus 51 degrees. The military sealed the access road, established a perimeter 5 kilometers from the station, prohibited all approach. August 18th. Temperature, minus 53 degrees. Satellite imagery shows the frozen zone expanding. Not quickly, slowly, deliberately. 100 meters per day, moving outward from Cold Ridge. A circle of winter growing in the middle of summer. August 19th. The KGB arrived. Not local agents, specialists from Moscow. The second chief directorate's Special Phenomena Division. They brought equipment, scientists, engineers. They established a research camp at the perimeter. Their initial report is in this folder, signed by Colonel Dmitry Volkov. The language is technical, clinical, but the conclusion is clear.
Phenomenon confirmed. Temperature anomaly genuine. No atmospheric explanation available. Thermal energy being removed from affected zone at rate inconsistent with known physics. Effect centered on geological formation designated Cold Ridge. Recommend containment protocols and long-term monitoring.
But there's an addendum, filed separately, marked eyes only.
Conducted historical research on Cold Ridge designation. Name predates Soviet era. Appears in regional folklore dating to 18th century. Local Sami population avoided the ridge, referred to it as the place where winter sleeps.
described seasonal taboos, prohibited activities during summer solstice, prohibited loud noises, prohibited construction or excavation near ridge, violations said to wake the cold, to bring endless winter. Previous Soviet meteorological activity at Zone 8 Nord included seismic testing in July 1984, explosive charges, scientific survey of underlying geology, testing conducted on Cold Ridge, charges detonated July 28th. First temperature anomaly recorded August 3rd. 6 days later, correlation possibly significant. They woke it, with explosions, with seismic testing, with noise and vibration and intrusion. They woke something that had been sleeping, something old, something that existed before warmth was common, before summer was guaranteed. August 20th, temperature minus 54 degrees. The scientists attempted to approach the ridge, equipped with heated suits, thermal generators. They made it 800 meters before turning back. The equipment failed. Batteries drained in minutes. Heating elements couldn't function. The cold was too strong, too aggressive, too alive. One scientist, Dr. Pavel Kirillov, removed his helmet during the retreat, wanted to feel the air, wanted to understand. His colleagues dragged him back to camp. He survived, but his face. His report describes it as frostbite, but the photographs show something else. His skin didn't just freeze. It changed, turned gray, like stone, like it had been cold for so long it forgot how to be flesh. He was evacuated to Moscow, treated at a military hospital. The doctors couldn't explain it. His tissue wasn't just damaged, it was transformed. Cold had settled into him, permanently. He spent the rest of his life in heated rooms, wore thermal clothing year-round, even in summer, even indoors. He said he could still feel it, the cold from the ridge, living inside him, waiting. August 21st, temperature minus 55 degrees. The frozen zone reached 6 kilometers diameter. Colonel Volkov submitted his final recommendation. Containment impossible. Phenomenon cannot be reversed with available technology. Recommend full evacuation of surrounding area. Establish exclusion zone minimum 20 kilometers radius. Monitor expansion. Prepare contingency for further growth. The recommendation was approved. The region was evacuated. Quietly, gradually, families relocated. Buildings abandoned. The official explanation was geological instability, risk of avalanche, standard bureaucratic procedure. By September 1984, the entire area within 30 kilometers of Cold Ridge was empty. Fences erected, warning signs posted, military patrols established. The zone was classified, removed from civilian maps, designated as restricted military testing ground. The temperature continued to drop, minus 57, minus 58, minus 60. By October, the frozen zone was 12 kilometers across, a circle of permanent winter. Ice, snow, darkness, in the middle of the Khibiny Mountains. And then it stopped. The expansion ceased. The temperature stabilized. Minus 62 degrees Celsius. Constant, unchanging, year-round. The KGB maintained observation posts, monitored the zone, recorded measurements. For 7 years. 7 years of data, 7 years of impossible cold existing in one specific place. The folder contains the final report, dated August 1991, filed by the last observation team before the Soviet Union collapsed.
Zone 8, Nord, remains frozen. Temperature stable at -62 Celsius. No further expansion detected since October 1984. Frozen area measures 14.3 kilometers diameter. Center point, Cold Ridge geological formation. Flora and fauna within zone, extinct. Buildings within zone, intact but uninhabitable. Structural integrity maintained by ice preservation. Station personnel remains, still present, still frozen. Positioned in circle as originally discovered. Recommend continued monitoring. Recommend permanent exclusion. Recommend no attempt at recovery or reversal.
The report includes one final detail, an observation made by the team leader, Senior Lieutenant Viktor Orlov.
Conducted aerial survey of zone on August 15, 1991. 7 years to the day since initial evacuation. Observed Cold Ridge from helicopter at safe distance. Ridge remains dark, frozen, unchanged. However, noticed pattern in ice formation. From altitude, the frozen zone forms distinct shape, not circular as ground observations suggested. Geometric, regular, almost artificial. Shape resembles symbol, spiral, centered on ridge, expanding outward. Like growth pattern, like something spreading, or preparing to spread. Recommend continued vigilance.
But there was no continued vigilance. The Soviet Union collapsed 4 months later. The observation posts were abandoned, the patrols withdrawn. The restricted zone became simply forgotten zone, remote, unmarked, avoided by locals who remembered the stories, the warnings, the taboos. The station is still there, Zone 8, Nord, frozen, preserved. A monument to the day summer died and never came back. The bodies are still there, 8 meteorologists, sitting in a circle, holding hands, frozen in their final moments, facing each other, not facing the cold. And Cold Ridge is still there, dark, silent, sleeping again perhaps, or waiting for the next disturbance, the next violation, the next time someone forgets the old warnings and wakes what should never be woken. This folder contains 19 weather reports, 19 days when the impossible became real, when summer encountered something older, something that existed before seasons were invented, something that remembers when the world was cold, when everything was cold, when cold was all there was. And sometimes, in certain places, under certain conditions, when the old things are disturbed, that ancient cold returns, reclaims its territory, takes back what was always its. Zone 8. Nord is marked on no maps now. The coordinates lead to empty forest. Restricted military zone signs weathered and fallen, but the cold is still there. 14 kilometers of permanent winter, existing, waiting. And if you go there, if you ignore the warnings and approach a cold ridge, you'll feel it, long before you see it. The temperature dropping, the air changing, the sensation of stepping backward through time, through history, through evolution itself. Back to when cold was everything, when winter had no end. And if you get close enough, if you reach the ridge itself, you'll see them. The meteorologists, still sitting, still holding hands, still frozen, waiting for a summer that will never come. Because on Cold Ridge, summer ended. And it's never coming back.